All right, cool.
We're rolling.
We are rolling. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good, thanks.
Good.
How are you?
I'm good. You've come dressed as a teacher today, and I really appreciate it.
Is it? Is this what teachers wear?
I don't know. You look like you're about. I don't know. You do look like a history
It's been
teacher.
an awful long time since I've been in school, so I don't know what they wear.
You just look really like.
I didn't know we were going to be. Is it black background? Because I might look like a floating head. I think it looks German.
I think you look great. It's just usually.
I've got some free jumpers. I did an advert for, what's it called? You have Fisherman's Friends.
Yeah, my mum really loves them.
I did advert for Fisherman's Friends, and they gave me free jumpers. Well, they didn't give me free jumpers. They were dressing me in jumpers, and I nicked them.
Excellent. Are they good jumpers?
Marks and Spencers are the other ones. This one is better even. I think, what's that one say?
Let's have a look.
Where's that one from? It feels better than the other.
I don't know. Oh, it's H&M.
H&M. Not bad. Really good, thick,
Yeah.
heavy. Feels like natural fibers, but I bet it isn't.
I don't think it is. I mean, usually it's a departation from your usual look, which is a bit more like sort of country farmer type.
Country farmer, yeah. No, I'm trying to sharpen up these days.
Yeah, what's happening?
I don't know. Just
What's changed?
change of tact.
Yeah?
Trying to shower more often.
Yeah, good.
All of it. Just gotta. Yeah, I figure that'll open some doors. If I dress nice, cut my hair,
Yeah.
wash, I reckon that'll pave the way for success.
Yeah, what would you
Because the hobo look wasn't doing anything.
Do you not think?
Already done it.
I think you're
I played
successful
it out.
though.
I was successful.
When were you successful?
I was successful. Well, no, just when I was about to get successful in around, let's say 2000. Say 2010, 11, 12, I was pretty much sober. I didn't stop all completely, but I was getting sober. That's because we were getting pregnant and having babies, and I was like a fresh-faced guy. I had a crazy hairdo, but I was skinny, and I was...
You were trying to get match fit.
And then I started getting successful. It was working. I was writing lots of shows. And then in about 2013... when success started to be right on the horizon, something inside of me self-jeopardized and just went, "You're a scumbag. You don't deserve any of this, you piece of shit." But that's only in hindsight, because at the time the voice was more like, "We should get fucked up tonight," and put any chance of tomorrow working out in the bin. And so that's when I started drinking heavily. And then by 2014, I was really caning it.
So in terms of after you cleaned up your act around 2000 to try and have a baby.
Yeah, 2009.
2000.
But see, before that though, all my stuff was still drank too much, but it was and it had peaks and troughs, but it wasn't like pedal to the metal, full bore, losing your nuts. It was just your average alcoholic.
Yeah.
Although in previous times in my life I had some rock bottoms. I'll go to those in a bit. But this one, but when I self-jeopardized around 2014, that's when I started using other medications. And I've got kids, so I got to be careful what I say.
Absolutely.
But there was other medications that sped the whole process up, if you know what I mean, the old alcoholism.
I 100% do.
Sped it right up. And then by 2015, that's when I had to put the brakes on. So then, to answer so then I've been sober since September 1st, 2015. And as you know, the first couple of years of being sober is just awful.
Shit.
It's actually even worse than when you were out of control.
What do you think keeps you going through that point?
Because, for me, it was fear, because I'd gone so far down that I just thought there's no way I can afford to go. Like, I just can't go there anymore. I've done it. Like, I don't mean that in a, like... oh yeah, done it, moved on. No, it's like I scared myself because I got so mentally ill, which I never thought that was a thing. With huge amounts of, like really high amounts of alcohol. Like, I used to pride myself on my amount I could drink years ago, but when it got to the real, right down in the gutter, then it felt just shame. Like 2.5 liters of vodka and then beers and then all the rest to keep you upright.
Yes.
That was the stuff. And that's where the brain starts going. Then, of course, you keep some pretty bad company.
So,
And it all just goes together. And it really falls like the bottom. In one way, the bottom falls out of it quickly. If you look at it that way, it takes, a year and a half. But actually, it's probably, you have to add in all the other years that are built up to it, too.
yeah, because it's fun for a bit.
Oh, yeah, there's a window, isn't there?
Yeah, because
I was doing some pretty good gigs there, but when it was just when I was just holding it together, and before I got really out of, there was a period where I was absolutely nailing it. And I thought, oh, all right, I found my groove. I can keep this up. But it's too old. You need a younger frame for that. You know?
What's your drug of choice?
Out
of all like alcohol included, obviously. So.
Oh, no, it's just alcohol.
Yeah?
I don't bring up the other ones.
Okay.
If I had to, the one, I would say the only one I've enjoyed and has been good to me would have been mushrooms. But I don't really even think of that as a drug anymore. It's more of just like it's a thing everyone should do. Oh, here's a thing. I hadn't done mushrooms since I was a kid for a long time. And then in around 2000, I went out to France with Craig Campbell and took a whole bunch of mushrooms out there. Oh, and that's right. And then the next time in Amsterdam. Anyway, after I left Amsterdam, doing a bunch of mushrooms, I forgot to drink alcohol. Like I had to like force myself into drinking again at a later date. Like it had reset all of my pathways. I was hardly smoking cigarettes even. And that's from like 30 a day Marlboros. And but I didn't really realize it was happening. I just remember just bouncing around, feeling pretty good. I'm a wired up guy, and I was getting jobs. I had a TV job back then. And
what year was this?
2001 and 2.
Oh, right, great.
So I was bumping around, everything's going pretty good, and I couldn't figure out what it was. But it's only now, looking back, it was the mushrooms fixed my wiring, because they are starting to use psilocybin to treat alcoholism. And I can say, I didn't know that at the time, but that really worked. And then I thought, hey, I need to get back to drinking. So I kind of, I need to ruin this.
Yes.
Yeah, forget where we're at now.
So like
2015,
when did you know that you liked drinking?
Probably 15.
Yeah.
Pretty late to it. A lot of drunks get there a little earlier, don't they?
Yeah.
Probably two, yeah. I think it was about 15.
And did you grow up on a farm? Is that
Yes,
right?
yeah.
So was it quite remote and?
Yeah, but then I think it was like when we went into school and stuff. Where
was the
I
farm?
remember Well, actually, it wasn't until it was 15. It was more. I had tried it when I was 15. It was when I was 16. I got my driver's license, and country people always have bush parties, and that's where it started.
What's a bush party? Is it like
just like everyone drives out into some field or some place by a lake or something that you're not supposed to be, and everyone just breaks in, and we just put on some bonfires and party.
Sounds like the early rave scene where where you kind of.
Yeah, it's like if you could imagine that, but with rednecks.
Okay.
And pickup trucks and a lot more woo, and way more violence. And it was a bit like that. And that's when I just went, wow, this is good. I like this. There's no downside to this booze. Did
you feel connected with everybody in that situation, or did you always feel like you were a bit out, like not connected, like you were outsider?
I didn't really think about that.
You didn't?
No, I just wanted to get
shit-faced,
fucked up. Just wanted to get out of your head.
What do you feel like when you're there?
Well, when you're 17, you're excited to be alive. So add a bunch of booze onto that, and
it's hyper.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I want to be careful. I don't sort of put too much like meaning onto stuff.
That's okay.
I think I was drinking just because I really liked it, but it could have been. Well, could have been isolation, but everyone was isolated. No, I'm not sure.
That's okay. I mean, the fact that you like it, there's something about drink that I really like doing.
Yeah, I know that I didn't. I found but this is something I got later, as I realized I don't like socializing. So I think a lot of it might be to do with that.
That's
or not feeling uncomfortable, or uncomfortable chatting, especially in parties, like constantly feeling a little bit like there's too much noise, people around you. You're not quite sure what people mean, Couldn't read people's face. couldn't read people's expressions so good, and so would often get things wrong. So you would take booze, and that would get rid of all of that worry. So then you could just, just be like that.
It's funny. It's funny. Like, that's one of the things I learned about myself is when I got sober. Is like, oh, I'm actually quite anxious, and you'd never really think that before.
That's right. Yeah.
Because I'm so.
Well, do you think
loud.
chicken or the egg though? Did the booze fuck my system up so badly that I'm now anxious? But I don't think so. I think there was anxiety before. Anxiety. Yeah. See, even just talking about booze has made me slow down and start slurring a bit.
So
have you noticed, like, since you quit though, that you've still got some of the tics you used to have? You know, like when you see Ozzy Osbourne, obviously, he's got a lot of tics, hasn't he? But he still sounds like he's fucking wasted. But even when he's sober, he sounds like he's out of it. Like, it just kind of takes your nerve endings off.
I don't know. I don't know that I have.
Ah.
Do you think you have?
I think I'm slower. I think
that's just because you're older.
I think I definitely lost a few points on the old IQ. I'm pretty sure I must have.
Oh yeah, maybe. I think maybe.
But I was pretty high to start with, so.
I think, yeah, obviously.
So I could afford the 20 points I took off.
I definitely think some of the narcotics I took in the 90s maybe shaved a few IQ points off.
I think the 90s was a really bad bunch. It's like after the fall of the Soviet Union, and everyone's looking around going, well, we got rid of God, and now there's no bad guys. Now what? And everyone just went, right, let's get bollocksed. And that's what happened. It's just a generation of people that were just naughty and just should have known better. It was because it was like a different kind of abyss. And now when there is like an abyss on the horizon, you think, oh, okay, that's... I don't know.
The abyss is real now. Whereas I think the 90s, it was all about carnage,
What's the point?
Yeah, just like how many pills, how much drink, how many drugs could you do in a night, how many birds could you shag?
And
like
now,
it was always excess.
There was a God-shaped hole in everyone's heart.
I reckon.
You know, there's a crisis of meaning out there.
Fucking hell, it's gone deep very quickly.
And then you got loads of people from that generation that are all getting sober, and then there's also younger people now getting
don't drink
sober.
as much.
Yeah, but the ones that get bollocks, usually posh kids, they're getting sober too. So there's like 2 generations of people getting sober at the same time. So there's a lot of people searching for meaning all at the same time.
How do you find meaning? What do you believe in?
Oh, I've not found it. I'm just trying to get rent paid, so I'm focused on that, and I've got kids.
Yeah.
So that's the only meaning for me right now. So I've not got enough time to seek something deeper, but I know I probably need to. But I see other people doing it. If you go online,
yeah,
everyone's like working pretty hard at cracking that nut.
Well, maybe just wait till everyone else, someone's found it, and
yeah,
then you'd be like, I found it.
Someone's sorted out the new religion.
Oh God.
No. So what?
So when you come, so like, when did you come over to the UK, and did you?
1990.
So that is prime.
Yeah.
That's prime carnage time in the UK.
Yeah, but I was.
Did you get sucked up into that, or?
I wasn't. I never hung out with the cool kids yet. I was mostly pretty old school pub drinking guy.
Well,
the church on Sunday. Remember the church behind King's Cross?
Oh, the club, the church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the Aussies, the New Zealanders. Remember there'd be like 5,000 absolutely just drunk people in rugby shirts and just real scumbags. All of us. Just, but the cool people are doing all the drugs.
Yeah, 100%.
It took me a while to discover all that.
Yeah, I mean, I really liked drugs. It made me feel part of something tribal.
Oh, you liked all that?
I did. It was like, oh my God. I love you, and it was this. Oh my God, I'm in a place where I'm loved. Finally, yeah.
Yeah, you see,
still the MDMA.
I guess that's what I was supposed to have got. I always quite liked being outside of everyone.
It's different.
Well, no, I guess I just wasn't wired up to want to feel too a part of anything.
Too close, too connected.
Yeah, yeah.
A bit too lovey-dovey.
Yeah, I've only even thought about it now. Ugh. Too much hugging.
And always sweaty hugs as well from...
Yeah, no, I prefer people to be emotionally distant.
Okay.
That's how I feel comfortable. It's very two-dimensional interactions with people is how I really... You know, that's why I love doing comedy is like the people that come to my shows, I'll see them maybe twice a year, and we'll only talk after the show for, 10 or 15 minutes. After a show, I always talk to everyone, and that's perfect. That's that because I've always don't like to get to know anyone for too long because I know that they'll then see the real me, and I don't want anyone to ever know me.
Why not?
Well, because I think I'm great in short bursts, and then after that, I'm just quite rude, selfish, quite a bit of a prick, I think.
That's quite critical.
Yeah.
I understand that though. Like I'm not very good at prolonged relationships with people. I like to kind of get in, keep it simple, and then get out.
Yeah, my poor wife and kids, they have to see me all the time. So.
Oh my God.
But I put in a Herculean effort to just stifle my... But when I'm out and about, it's hard work. I get exhausted. And if I went to and I don't go to them anymore, but if you went to a drinks do, a BBC thing, or I don't know, something, I would just need to sleep after that.
It's exhausting.
Yeah, all that chatting and
do you think sobriety
remembering names and...
Do you think it was small talk, isn't it? Yeah,
it's hard work, and then you got that rictus grin like that, and the whole time your mind's going, how am I being? Am I getting this right? Oh, I shouldn't have said that. What do they mean? Oh, yeah. And if just be yourself, and then I would just sit there and just watch people.
Because you are quite a wacky, and I hate using that word. It's really, don't think
not wacky.
What?
Absurd.
Sorry, I apologise.
Hardcore whimsy, I've been described as.
All right, well, because
that's the one I like.
Because you're such a big character on stage, do you find it difficult to sort of be yourself in?
Well, no, because it represents a side of me I like to be. That's the side I'd like to be all the time, but I know I can't.
That'd be exhausting.
Yeah, it'd be too much, and it just gets out all my shouting, all my it's me, but it's just a me times 4.
Do you ever obscure the light and bring stage persona back home? Does your wife ever gone right?
Yeah, when I drank a lot, that used to happen more. Yeah, now I switch off right away.
What do your family think about you getting sober?
Oh, well, that's why I got sober. So pretty good, I guess. Well, the kids don't really have any memories of me when I had that. It's like in the early days when I drank, I kept it away from the family quite good. It meant I was away a lot, but no, I didn't. Yeah, I mean, you think you've kept it away, but no, I think Daddy's a lot. Yeah, I'm just more present.
So, what was the decision that made you get sober in the end?
Well, so I think 2015, I was up in Edinburgh. My wife had been giving me ultimatums, and I was like, yeah. And for some reason, I fell off again. And during that fringe, I was really out of control. And then
what does that look like? Is that?
So she left Edinburgh and went back to London, and I knew that month was going to be my last. Drinking. Like I have to stop, or that's it. I stay here in this flat. And I think it was on it was day 14 or something when they hadn't been there for about a week. And I really spiraled down then. But I remember there was no furniture left in the flat. There was some furniture, but it was shitty. And there was and I remember lying on the bed just thinking, oh, fuck, I can't be bothered with any of this. And then I got licked in the face and I remembered, oh, God, I forgot about this dog. I just got a dog that spring, a big German Shepherd. And then I thought, oh, no, I can't exactly kill myself. I'm not giving you all the details because I have to, be careful in case my kids one day find this.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, but we'll just say it had got bad, and the thing that stopped me from taking it further down was the dog licking my face. Because oh God, I can't just go to sleep for a long time.
Because what's going to happen to the dog?
Yeah, he's just going to eat me.
That's.
Yeah, my show was on at noon, so I'd have to. Yeah, there's so much planning into alcoholism. You have to plan the vodka you're going to get the night before. that you need in the morning.
And also in
You
Scotland, the booze stops being
Yeah,
served
10
at
o'clock.
10 o'clock. Who
Yeah,
knew
yeah.
that?
So you've got to get into the booze at 10. But if you've got really bad paranoia, that's not as easy as it sounds. So
Why
if
is
you
that?
think you're being followed and hunted by organizations, getting yourself over to the Sainsbury's, like, and you can only go to the Sainsbury's once because someone will know you, and they might just know you from a gig, and they'll be like, "Hey," and you're like, So you sneak that, and then you go to that one down there, and
There's a lot
you have
of
to be
plotting.
organized. You spend almost all your time doing that, and the rest of the plotting, if you know what I mean.
Oh,
Yeah, and then you spend an awful lot of time on your own, and then just get. And not funnily, but the thing is during that hour on stage, I'd be just a mess before I got. But then all of a sudden, as soon as on stage, I was delivering these well, not great, but pretty good shows, and that show was like I kind of knew what had to happen, and I was sort of breaking down on stage, but trying to incorporate it. I wore a horse's head on stage with a big cape and spoke from inside the horse's head at the shame of it all. You know, like that, but funny. But I couldn't tell you what it was I said. I've met people who've seen that show and they've gone, "Oh, that was just brilliant." It's like a breakdown in a mask.
But did you wear the mask because you were like, well, then people can't see how drunk I am?
No, I wore it because I was symbolic of the shame I felt.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So that was my rock bottom, and I think that was mainly to do. It's just like, yeah, just.
But you've been like, everyone knew you as a bit of a party man, like a bit of a boozer, not party man.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean.
But then the thing is that yeah. But that was from the year before. That was for like, it was only ever from like 2012 and 13 when I was getting that rep, because before that I was quite quiet.
Got it.
You know.
And then
but I used to be like, I had a phase in my teens and my 20s, then it would go, and then had another time in the late 90s, early 2000s when I got pretty messed up too. There's been loads of times when I should have stopped. There's been loads of rock bottoms.
And then what stops you?
But this one was the family why the rock bottom was like. So when you start seeing more clearly, you go, "Oh yeah, And if you're just sober long enough to realize about the other people, that's all you need. Once that gets in, there's no way you can go back.
It's not just about you at that point. It's like everybody else.
But you can fool yourself if you're still drunk, like if you're still drinking. So I went away and I lived at my mother-in-law's and went to the hospital every day for a couple months. So I was very lucky. They have a good program out there at Stratford Hospital.
Oh, right.
Stratford-upon-Avon.
So you just went and did like daily meetings?
You go and meeting and do courses.
Yeah.
You know, with loads of other down and outers. And that was very good because it buys you a little bit of time.
Yeah.
It buys you enough time to get outside of yourself. And then that's horrible for a couple of years because you have to actually look at yourself and go, yeah, and you know what it's like. Getting over all the guilt is the worst. I think that's the thing that keeps people drinking, is the shame. It's what, you know, if you start having a peek at what you're doing too much, if you look at it too soberly, you just, find another way to not have to look at that.
What's the hardest part of your early sobriety, do you think?
Just no confidence in the world. You know, just walking around unsure of yourself, not knowing who you are.
Yeah.
Because you kind of only know yourself as someone who's a bit half-cut.
Yeah.
Because it's part of your confidence is that, too.
And I should imagine it's part of your sort of like stage persona in some like
but
of your comedy persona.
A little bit, yeah. And then there for a couple of years, sort of 16 and 17, I was sort of this guy who was kind of insecure.
Yeah.
Kind of comedian.
Which is weird because you've got this back history. You've got this back, and people are like...
Something switched around at the end of 17, though, and into 18 until now, where I've sort of found myself again. And I'm actually, I'm just like a more full-on and alert version of what I was before.
Isn't that gratifying? Isn't that pleasing, though?
Yeah, and it feels like you're much more in control.
You can be...
You don't feel as much of a fraud. You still feel like a fraud, but you don't feel like a fraud you do when you're drunk. Because then you think, is it just the booze that's making me funny? And in some cases it is, because it takes away your inhibitions, so it lets everything just flow. But that
How have you
that
tapped
only
into
happens.
that? How do you tap into that sort of
I just
fluidity now?
well, because the hour and a half on stage each night, if it's a tour show or whatever, is going to be where I have the most fun out of the rest of the day.
Yeah, totally.
So I get quite excited, and I still get all nervy and edgy, like especially if you go to a gig that looks really rough, and say they're enjoying something that that isn't like what you do. If they're like really laughing at something that you think's like
crap,
not good, then you start going, oh God, they're gonna hate me. They're gonna, that's the same. But as soon as you get that one laugh, so I basically confidence. I've got real confidence now that and starting to believe. Oh yeah, you might be funny then.
Did you have to? Are you like? Did you? When you got sober, how did the rest of the comedy industry react to you getting sober?
I think pretty positively, actually. Yeah, I remember Luke Roberts had one of the, I think, nicest but most English response, and he goes, he's just, well, it's just a relief. I thought that was, I took that as like nice.
Yeah.
Yes, just a relief, really.
Just a relief that you're sober.
Yeah, no, I guess I didn't really notice too much.
You're not really present, are you?
Yeah, because you're kind of in your. Well, no, I mean when you get sober, though, you don't really. I didn't pay attention to other people's reaction because I was
too focused on you.
Yeah, I became too up my own arse. I think those first 2 years.
Yeah.
I was very feely sorry for myself, as if there was some affliction. I didn't take any responsibility. So it's when you start going, then it's better. But anyway, that was.
And what do you do as part of your day? Do you do a daily program or anything like that? Are you just?
No, because I did the hospital thing. Slip. No, because I did I kind of got that all done. So I don't think about it anymore. Like it's really literally something flicked in my head.
Really?
Yeah. The only thing is like the things that I used it for, those come back. Anxiety, all that bullshit.
Yeah.
But I don't ever think I'll have a drink to fix that. I just think, that doesn't come in.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I'm really
I'm
quite lucky.
That is really lucky.
But I had those first 2 years when I was sober, there was just a lot of mental problems. So all that scared me. Like the wiring was all wrong.
Yeah. Did you get therapy or anything like that?
Yeah, did all that.
Did you?
I mean, sort of. I mean, at the hospital we did it.
Yeah. How long were you in the hospital situation?
2 months.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So
it's called the recovery program. They're really excellent.
And do you don't drink now or anything like that?
No.
Have any of your obsessive or addictive tics come back in other ways?
Oh yeah. I drink an awful lot of Diet Coke.
Yeah.
And I did eat a shed load of ice cream, but I'm off the ice cream now.
Well done.
Just gallons of Diet Coke. I have to have a fizzy beverage in my guts. Yeah, and whole nut chocolate as well. So yeah, the addictive personality. Oh, and vaping. Vape like a.
You vape like a trooper.
Yeah, and it's so unsatisfying.
Is it?
But it must be satisfying on some level.
Do you not think there's a ritual? Because it's quite something to kind of hold, isn't it, and do. I mean, that is impressive.
Yeah, that's part of it. I think it's the whole. But that felt good. That was just the amount of nicotine I need. Yeah, and I mean, if it was just the nicotine, I'd use a patch, wouldn't I? So it's got to be something to do.
It's something else. Like when I quit the booze, like going to weddings, it wasn't really about. It was more about the ritual and the champagne and the kind of flute and the pop and the.
Well, don't you find you get thirsty though? Like I find my mouth going dry. That's
when you see other people drinking.
Social anxiety. You get really dry. And then that's why you just drink all this Diet Coke. I drink the same amount of Diet Coke as I would drink.
Oh, really?
Booze and beer, I think. And then then you got pee all night.
How's it? So in terms
my
of
colon must be ravaged.
Yeah, it probably is. You probably need like a replacement colon at some
Hello.
point in the future. Probably.
I've got a ravaged colon.
Who hasn't?
Yeah. But I've had rock bottoms before. This one is different, and I think it's definitely just because of the kids. But I had rock bottoms in high school, and then I remember I was living in the south of France. I worked for this company called Contiki Tours, and it was Beaujolais season, and we'd go around in the medieval villages just drinking wine out of these little silver cups, and just absolutely hammered. My parents had come to stay, and they were staying at a hotel 2 miles away, and I was supposed to go and pick them up, and I didn't because I was drunk. Anyway, the last thing I remember is falling 2 stories off a wall, but it was on a slope, so I hit like this,
no.
thump, thump, and everyone's like, oh God, what's happening, all this chaos, and I just jumped up, and he's okay. So around that time, there was one, and then I had another rock bottom in 95. I was probably could have stopped it then.
Which one was that?
Then I had another one in 95 was just so asleep at a train station in Manchester when it was super, super cold, and sleeping outside, and forgetting where I was, and then finding out where I was staying, and so that was one. But, I mean, there's loads like that, isn't there? So that's why this last one just felt like just felt different than all of those ones.
Maybe because you had more to lose.
2001, and I stopped drinking once in 2001. That's when I met my wife. So I mean, I sold her a bit. So she met the sober me.
Right, and she was like, "Oh, this guy seems cool."
He's pretty sorted out.
Yeah.
And I stayed sober for about 2.5 years. That was when I was riding in a van with, this is 2001. I was in a van with Simon Munnery, and he said, "God, you look bad." And I thought, wow, that's saying something if he thinks I look bad. 'Cause he was pretty party back then. So, and then I thought, you know what? I'm not getting anywhere with my career if I stay like this.
What,
And
sober?
No, before I went sober. Back then, I've got to do something. And then I went sober, and things started to work out for me. And then all of a sudden, I did a TV show, and stuff like that was happening. And then I just sabotaged that. The way it went. So I guess the real test would be is if I got myself into a position of like some sort of potential success, or like, I don't mean success in just like
things are going well,
just being decent, like making a, like
good stab at it.
Making a good stab at it. Then that'll be the test to see if I don't fuck that up.
Is there
it's like I thrive in my little lane. Like if I get too, if it looks like things might be just good, something goes on. So that'll be the test.
Yeah, maybe it's like, I don't feel like I'm worthy of this.
Yeah, I mean, now you do that sort of stuff in different ways. You make yourself late for stuff. You sort of find yourself taking the wrong turn. I think it's subconscious. Or forgetting to put on a shoe, or I don't know.
Do you believe that you're worthy of being happy and successful?
Yeah, that's what I'm working on.
Is it?
Yeah.
How do you?
So
work on that?
I'm not sure about that yet.
Even if other people deem you that.
Well, I'm not really working on it. You listen to a few podcasts.
Yeah.
That sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe a YouTube
tutorial,
philosophical,
TED
something
Talk.
that's got a bit of philosophy in it. And then it doesn't feel like you're just doing self-indulgent self-help. If you listen to people talking about different philosophers, that can feel like you're doing something
positive.
Yeah, and it's not just about you, but it's like, oh yeah, I could learn about the self.
Are you still in therapy?
No. Only actually, no, done, sorted.
I quite like a bit of therapy. An hour where I get to talk about myself.
Yeah,
Amazing.
I feel like I'm using this for that.
I know, I like it.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I was supposed to be funny.
I know.
But it's hard to be funny when you're whining about yourself.
Oh shit! Maybe this podcast won't be as funny as I hoped, but that's okay. I think people will get something out of it because
Well, also the problem with when you've got kids and you're talking about your rock bottoms or your alcoholism or whatever, you got all these different filters on, and as soon as you put a filter on something, you're not going to be able to be funny. You know, if I'm sitting there, I can't mention that. Oh, can't mention.
I mean, I think we all know what the bits that you can't mention are.
But there's loads of things that, like, there's, crazy stories and, like, bad situations and awful decisions. So I can't really go down those. Those have to wait till they're, like, 30 or something, and then you can put that into a book or something.
Yeah, totally. Like a kind of rock, like in a big meaty sort of...
Like crazy sort of... movie level traumas and stuff, and you kind of have to keep them buried down.
Oh, I'm annoyed. I wish you didn't have kids, Tony.
Yeah. So you got to keep those down, and then that feels that feels like you're kind of disingenuous when you're saying, because you're just skirting around something.
We know this.
I did one show where I talked a little bit about it.
Yeah.
But I sort of talked about it with a bit of distance, you know. And just talked about, anyway, so, but I didn't, even that felt like I was, should have had some more boundaries.
Did anyone say that to you afterwards? Did your family?
No, only my wife.
Did she?
Yeah, get some boundaries. Don't whine about yourself. I think you've got to a little bit.
You have to, because people want to know the person behind the...
Yeah, some people really want to know about that stuff.
Yeah, we love it.
But anything I do in stand-up now, I don't touch on it anymore.
Okay, well, I feel bad for making you do this podcast.
Nah, that's fine. I just wish I was could have brought more humor to the game. I mean,
I think there's lessons that
it's pretty funny. I got it's not funny, but
I think it's funny.
I think the dog saved my life.
The dog did save your life. Do you still have the dog?
Yeah, Wolfie. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, he keeps me out. Gets me out.
That's good. That's the best thing. In the fresh air.
Can you imagine you being eaten by a dog, though? I mean, you wouldn't know.
No, you wouldn't.
Or maybe you'd know.
Do you think the dog would be upset?
Bad boy. Like you didn't have enough energy to tell him off. He was just gnawing on your foot. No.
But do you think...
Wolfie, no.
Do you think...
Don't eat Daddy.
Do you think if
Who's
a dog...
a good boy?
If a dog has to eat the body... Do you think the dog goes through a moral quandary? Because dogs really love you.
Oh, yeah. No, I think that would be hard.
But do you think the dog would worry about it?
Yeah, because he worries about, like, it's not happened very often, but if he needs to go to the loo, like, he will hold it forever. And he would feel terrible if he had to go to the loo inside.
How do you know that he would feel... Has he ever done it and looked
Yeah, when he was a pup, he did it, and he just felt awful.
How do you know he felt awful?
His ears went down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he took himself off to the corner, and he ran him outside, cleaned it all up, took him outside, and then he was back. He was fine. He's sparky again, but he hated it. Some dogs just don't care because they're pricks.
They are pricks.
Like, there's a little dog we have. I won't even name him. Just so mad at him. He's called Zippity, and he'll just poop. Yeah, fine.
Whose dog is that? Is that your dog?
Yeah, got a little
yip, yip, yip.
Pomchi yipper.
Love it. So you sound like you're in quite a good place.
I guess so.
Yeah, you got a new agent, things are looking up.
Still whiny, though.
Yeah, but I think sober people, we've got a lot of time on our hands. We've got to whine a bit.
Yeah, but it's a good time to be sober, though, with you know, if you got YouTube. You know, well, you got the internet now. There's so much ways to distract yourself.
Absolutely. What do you do with the extra time now?
Fucking find new ways of wasting time.
What's your favourite sort of...
Podcasts is a big one.
Who do you like?
The history of literature, which sounds like I am into literature. I'm not. I just really like the guy who does the podcast, and also it feels like I'm doing something positive. And he talks about books I've not read. And if he does talk about a book you have read, you're like, oh, yeah. But if you're talking about a book you haven't read, you feel like you've read it by the end of it. And you think, ticked.
That's a dinner party dropping, isn't it?
I find that really interesting. And another one I like is the History of the English Language podcast. which is really dense. It's like 180 episodes so far, and we're up to 1,300. It's brilliant. It deep dives and like pretty much spends time on every word. It's great. That's the sort of thing that gets my rocks off at the moment.
Sounds like you've gone from being really like wild and out there to like being quite boring.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. That was what that was all based on, is knowing I was boring.
So you drank to be more interesting.
Yeah, just to be a bit more, well, hey, how are you? And now it's like, oh, God, I'm sorry, I forgot your name. God, you really are an asshole. I thought you were nice. Hey! Yeah, so that's podcasts, and then I watch YouTube until my algorithm starts feeding me too much of the same shit.
Yeah, I feel you.
And then you just think, God, I am tired of being outraged. Change it up. Sometimes it gives you outrage stuff.
Oh, really? Like, what sort of outrage do you get fed? What kind of stuff have you been watching?
I went through a phase of listening to people complaining about the mainstream media.
Yeah.
And their bias.
Yeah.
And all the lies they tell us.
Yeah.
So I went through that phase.
Cool.
I was like so angry about it. They're lying to us. I hate their bias. And then you find yourself like getting worked up about stuff you don't really care about. Just going, oh yeah, they're fucking, oh. So I try and avoid that. So mostly history I watch.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I feel like after this chat, history is probably a safe terrain for you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's good. Like once you get to a certain age, though, you feel like you've done. You're getting more. You're narrowing things because you've kind of done lots of stuff. So in some ways, you need to feel angry about stuff because there are lots of stuff you get to the point where you're going, yeah, I kind of know how that's going to play out. You know, like Brexit didn't bother me all that much.
It didn't.
Because I just thought I couldn't pick a side. Because I'd go, I'd have that old kind of guy going, yeah, you know what? I know why these people want this. And I know why these people want this.
Yeah.
And they've both got really good reasons for wanting those things. Why is everyone getting angry at these guys and these guys? I mean, they both want what's... you know, you start seeing things way too evenly, you know? And if someone is a wanker to you or whatever, you find yourself going, oh, they probably had a really bad day, you know? maybe their mom's sick. You find yourself leveling out on so many things.
You've just become an empathetic man.
Well, I don't know if it's even empathy. It's just kind of just rationalizing it, just kind of breaking it down into a manageable, easy chunk. To go, oh, I don't need to worry about that. That's why that is.
Yeah.
Well, that's why. Like, Donald Trump. I mean, out there for a while, I got all worked up about him. And then all of a sudden, I just went, nah. They've got a fairly good system. They'll sort themselves out.
There you go.
It's a bit boring, though, isn't it?
It is a bit boring. Sobriety, boring. Old,
yeah, but
getting older, boring.
But then that's what's. Yeah, we call it boring, but actually, it's like the minutiae. The minutiae.
Minutia.
The minutia. That becomes exciting. So when you're watching a thing you're interested in, or you're reading about something that is fascinating, it's exciting in that moment. So that's not boring. It's your brain is firing off, going, "Oh fuck! I did not know that. Oh my God, that's amazing!" And then you want to share that with everyone. And then that's where the difficulty comes in. When you're doing comedy, you know, they will all tell you need to do subject matter that are universal, because you're going to hit more people. Whereas what I do is I do it the opposite way. I try and make things that are obscure funny, which is a real hard sell. You've got to put a lot into it. But I like that. To me, that's like, so I tried to make a routine funny about being a steamboat captain in 1840s Russia. And I think I managed it. And the nights it worked, or the days it worked in Edinburgh, it felt really good. I thought, no one else is doing that. No one else is getting laughs off that.
What do you usually do?
There's lots of people who stare at you going, I wish no one was doing that. You know?
How does that make you feel when you get that response? Because people love you, or they do that.
I get off more, I really get off on the people who dig it. there's certainly an element of people out there who really like it for that, and it forces, not force, but it encourages me to keep going that way. And if someone's staring at me and I don't like it, I used to worry about them, and I used to pander, or at least try and change what I did. But I found that made it worse, because now you're just trying to impress me, and I still hate you.
That's it.
Whereas now I just do, and if you deliver it with enough confidence, I've found you can win them over. So if they at first are staring and they're looking at their partner like, why did you bring me here? If you really keep punching away, eventually they'll go, oh yeah, I like this guy. I'm glad we're talking about the Mongol horde. I think we needed that in comedy. And then everyone will always say, oh, the best comedy is truth. Everything. Yeah, of course it is. That's obvious. But everything is true. If you're saying something, it's true because it's true in your mind. And if I'm talking about being in the Mongol horde, it's not literally about the Mongol horde. It's about you know, our view of the past. It's about where we used to be and how we are. Like, there's loads more levels going on. Surely. If you choose to just accept it and go with it, rather than my girlfriend and I have a relationship and she's like this and I'm like that, and what's that all about? And then we do fighting and she thinks differently about, like, that's fine. But I could go watch Ed Byrne do that in 1998, and he's great at it. So when I tried to do it, it was just a bland guy who wasn't really into what he was doing. So anyway, you got to stay in your lane.
Surely you should be established by now that there should be no blank faces in your audience.
Well, no, but I haven't been on TV or anything like that for a long time. So in order to get new people to come see you, or to let people who've seen you before who like you know that you're around, it's harder to advertise. So you've got to go and do clubs and stuff. When you go to a club, it's like most of the people there have never seen you before, so that's when you got to sell it. And I don't have a plan B, so like some people can have like a set they do to their fans and then a set they do to get new fans, and I don't. I just do the same. Whatever I'm doing that year is what I do that year. And if I get booked for some school fundraiser, that's the same thing.
You're still doing the same thing?
You're getting the Russian stuff, or you're getting monkeys beating a man to death with his own arm. You're getting all of that. What else am I doing? I've done a couple of subject matters that are universal, creeping in.
Yeah?
Yeah,
creeping
in about mainstream? Age. Yeah, it creeps in. Got a Facebook routine.
Oh, great.
Yeah, got a Facebook routine.
I've just got a feeling...
It's about a headband.
Yeah, it's not going to be the same as everybody else's Facebook routine.
Yeah, probably not as good.
No, I doubt that.
But it's the best headband routine there is, probably. But maybe average Facebook. I've combined headbands and Facebook.
I mean, a natural combination, if ever there was one.
Yeah. But anyway, what was I saying? I was saying something along the lines of, that's the best part of being sober, is you get more time to spend on the little weird shit that you like.
Well, look,
I think that the world's made up of lots of people who are just in. That's what I love about now, is you can meet someone and they'll just be into like the most bizarre thing, but they'll know loads about it. I love that, like enthusiasts, and everyone's. That's what I like getting to know people about. Only is just a guy, like, you just meet someone and they're really into seals. And you're like, oh, I mean, I like seals. But no, they'll know all the species of seals. They'll travel to go to be with seals. They'll sponsor a seal. They'll know everything about seals.
Hooked up with a community about seals.
Yeah, and they'll meet other people. That's what I like about sobriety, is when the world's full of people like that. That's awesome. Well,
you get to be in the present now, Tony. And you get to, like, be conscious a bit more, as we all are.
Yeah, living in the moment.
Oh, my God. Thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah, good luck editing that.